package inbound.
Hi guys, it's Nerf here. We're back with part 3 of our AEP Fallout Laser Pistol Challenge. Building it on the fly with no reference shots or stencils. And you can see I've painted it silver. Now, usually when I do this I would paint it black, but I figure since we're doing everything on the fly I may as well learn some new things too. So I'm going to try that technique that I did with the lightsaber a few tutorials back and see how it goes, because it's Fallout so it can be as messy as we like. So I have done what I did then. In case you missed that, I have just mixed some black acrylic paint with some water, making it quite runny like an ink, and I'm going to splash it on and then wipe it off, and hopefully it will leave the dark in all of the crevices. Worst thing that can happen is this doesn't work. I'll go back, I'll spray this black and dry brush it like I usually would, but I think this will look cool, so I'll give it a go. It's an experiment for me, and hopefully we'll both learn something from this. Hopefully it will work. I remember last time I put it on as wet as can be, so we're going to do that again. And you don't have to be neat, obviously, but you do want to catch it before it dries, otherwise that's not good. I'll put it in all the crevices there and there, and then I'll wipe it off with some paper towel. See what happens. As I say, worst case scenario, take it back and repaint it. It's no drama, just a bit more time. The cool thing about Fallout is, of course, it's a messy universe anyway, so dirty and grimy and whatnot, and that's the sort of look that we're going for on this. So hopefully after a few coats of doing this, that is the look we will have. You know, it's got oil and dirt and grime on it. I'm going to do that all over, and as usual I'm going to speed it up because obviously we've got a lot of brush work to do with this as well, with the green and the yellow and whatnot. So seems to be working. Hopefully you can see that. You've got that kind of, it is catching. I'll need to do it a few times, but it's definitely catching in the gaps and in the trigger. Looks nice and dirty. You see that? I will stop this, record the next bit, super fast forward, but that is what we're going to do over and over again. So just so that you've got it, wet brush with water and acrylic, slap it on any old way, as long as you're getting in all of the gaps and cracks. Wait a few seconds so that it's not drying but it's starting to go, and then wipe it off, and you'll see, hopefully this screw here is a good example of what you're aiming for. And as I say, you may have to do that a few times over the same area until it's definitely stuck. You can see that there, that's working quite well. Looks nice and dirty, oily. If we do that over and over again, hopefully, because I haven't done it this way before on one of these, hopefully we'll get a good result. I will speed up the next part, but it's the same thing over and over and over again. Splash it on, wipe it off, splash it on, wipe it off, and we'll see what we get. Hopefully nice and dirty like that. Okay, time for the next part. Okay guys, you can see I've done it a fair bit, still got a lot to go. I will cut to this being finished. It's the same thing over and over and over again. You can see it's quite messy, but hopefully you can see that it is starting to take on that sort of dirty metal look, and the black is starting to sit now in any crevices, so it looks sort of fallouty. Hopefully you can pick that up on my crappy lighting as usual. One thing as well, if say you make a mistake and you're like, oh no, it's dried too quickly, and I forgot to wipe that, you can get a wet cloth or some damp kitchen roll and give it a rub, and it will come up shinier than it was. And also when I finished, I probably will hit this with a layer of dry brush as well, just to bring up the edges more silver whilst keeping all of that nice dark shadow. I haven't really done this, though I probably will, because obviously we'll be painting this green, but I am going to do it with the wet brush just now to catch all these edges, so that when we do the wire and everything, these bits stand out. I will come back once all of this is finished. Well, not finished, but the silver is finished. So I'll be back then. And we're back. It took quite a long time. You can see it's looking pretty grimy now. So am I. As I say, I'll probably dry brush over this if I've made any mistakes at the end, or use the old finger trick with the metal paint to bring up the corners. But as usual, we're in a hurry, so I'm going to crack on, and we're going to paint this the green, and then hopefully that will show you that sort of fallout aesthetic that we're looking for, because usually as soon as I slap that on, I'm like, whoa, it's a fallout gun. I've only got rubbish brushes, but I'm hoping these will suffice. Now, I've previously mixed up some dark green paint. You can probably buy it, but I was not so lucky, so I mixed this. It's just, sorry guys, this is just dark green acrylic, and I'm literally going to just start painting it on that central section there. So you can see I've made a total hash of that, but it doesn't matter because I knew I was going to paint over it anyway. It'll probably take a few coats as well. So as usual, I think I will speed it up, but you get the idea. You're essentially wanting to try and do it fairly neat, but it doesn't matter because it's fallout, so it can be a mess. But fairly neat around just this area here, all the way around and underneath. I'll speed this bit up for you so that you're not totally bored, and we'll come back when it's done. Okay, that's the first coat on. It's what we call a hatchet job with this awful brush. I'll need to try and find some nicer brushes, not as coarse, and smaller brushes, probably this size. And what you'll need to do is go around and fix the multitude of mistakes if you've made any. If you're taking your time, obviously there's less chance of you making as many as I've made. But you can see it's starting to come along. I'm going to give it a couple more coats of that green, try and get it on a little bit smoother once that's dried. And then we will probably hit this wire up with some yellow, see how we go. I'll be back once that's dried, do a few more coats, and I'll pop that on camera for you so that you can see that I'm doing it. Not the green again, because it's the same thing again once it's dried. Try and smooth it out a little bit. You can see it is starting to look like a fallout blaster. It's still working. If you want to paint that, you can. I didn't bother because I forgot to sand it, as you may recall. Yeah, oh, and the other thing that I forgot to tell you that I'll probably put at the start of the video, but I'll just say again now, I pushed a piece of foam into the light so that we didn't paint over it. But I'll pop that at the start, probably as text. Okay, we'll be back once the green is coated a couple more times. Hi guys, we're back after I've done a few coats of the green. You can see it's starting to look quite fallouty. I'm going to quickly, if I've got time, just do a quick coat of one of the yellows that I'm going to use. I'm probably going to use this one here and then follow it up with some highlights with like a ridiculously bright yellow. I'm in a rush as usual, so I apologize for how messy this is going to look, but we will get there. I'm literally just going to paint as much of this as I can, and I'll speed it up for you guys so that you're not tortured by it, but it's looking pretty cool. Okay, that's some of the yellow done. I'd keep going, but I'm going to be late for my dinner. You can see it's coming along, looking a bit more fallouty. Still got a lot to do around the edges here, but I need a thinner brush. That brush there is too wide. If you've got a miniatures painting brush, that would be the perfect brush for you to use. Yeah, it's coming along. Few little bits to fix, but don't worry about any mistakes you've made. You can always go back over, and as I say, it's fallout, so messy's good. Messy's good. I think I'm going to leave it there, and I'll come back and finish the yellow, and then we'll maybe do some decals or maybe some electrical tape or something, and then it's finished. I'll do some test firing as well, and yeah, I hope you like it so far, and I hope yours is coming along good. I'd like to see them, so if you make one based on this, pop it on my Facebook page. That would be awesome. Okay, guys. See you when I get back. Okay, guys, we're back with the final painting. I have neatened up the yellow, and I decided not to go with the bright yellow. I think it looks cool in this sort of mustard. Next up, some decals. Now, I'm lucky enough to have some professionally printed decals. I've got some from Hypercats Network, my buddy Chris over there. I'm not sure that he's doing them anymore, but check him out, he's a cool guy. So I have literally just printed off some stickers. Not ideal, but as I say, we're rushing, and I don't want to use professionally printed vinyl decals because you may not have them, but you can easily do these. And hey, if you don't have sticker paper, just print it on normal paper. Find an image online, print it on normal paper, and use some Pritt stick. It's all the same. Now for the stripes, usually what I would do is I would mask it out. You can get this special thin masking tape. So you would basically mask it so that you're leaving two thin strips, putting that through the middle. But I'm going to do it the easy way, and we're going to use some electrical tape. So I've got the electrical tape, and I have cut a thin piece, 2 yellow stripes, because from memory that's what the AEP pistol uses. And we're just going to stick it around where I think it goes, and then mess it up a little bit. So I'll do that now, and we'll come back. Okay, we've got our decals on, we've got our tape on. Now time to make a mess of it. The tape's plastic, so this should be quite easy. Same as before. do it slightly over the edge. It should make it look like it's been there for a while. And for the last bit, we are going to make it look like this is chipped. So some of the green paint that you used for here. And just dab it on in random places. Okay guys, we're finished. Here is our Nerf Fallout laser pistol. I'll do some test fire videos in a second, but that's us done. I hope this has helped you make your own. I'll have a laugh and I will post edit in some reference shots that we didn't look at while we were making it and see where we went wrong. And I might even make a video about where I went wrong, because that might be quite amusing to look back on. I hope you've liked this tutorial. I hope it's helped you make your own awesome Fallout pistol. Test fire is coming up, and that's Nerfenstein out.